Welcome to Chapter 19 of IGCSE ICT. We're diving into the world of presentations. This isn't just about clicking buttons. It's about mastering a crucial communication tool. Our objective is clear. We need to understand what makes a presentation effective, what tools we use, and the design principles that ensure our message lands clearly. Think of presentation software as your digital canvas for communicating complex ideas simply. We'll cover everything from the basic slide structure to advanced features like master slides and multimedia integration. By the end of this chapter, you won't just be able to make a presentation. You'll be able to design one that truly engages your audience. Let's start by defining exactly what a presentation is. So, what exactly is a presentation in the context of ICT? Simply put, it's a series of slides designed to communicate information visually to an audience. The key here is the visual element. We combine text, graphics, and multimedia because people remember what they see far better than what they just read. This makes information more engaging and much more memorable. When we talk about the tools, we're talking about industry standards like Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, and Apple Keynote. For your IGCSE exam, you need to be proficient in using any of these to create a professional slide deck. But why do we even use these tools? Let's look at the diverse purposes presentations serve in the real world. Every great presentation is built one step at a time, and the slide is the fundamental unit of content. A slide is just a single page within your presentation file, but it's where all your information lives. The structure of that information is managed by layouts. Layouts are pre-designed templates that organize your content, whether it's a simple title slide or a complex comparison slide with two content areas. These layouts use placeholders, which are essential for consistency. Placeholders ensure that your text, images, and charts are always positioned neatly and predictably. But to achieve true, global consistency across an entire presentation, we need to move beyond individual slides and talk about the master slide. The master slide is arguably the most important concept for creating a professional and consistent presentation, especially for your IGCSE practical. It's a top-level template that controls the default look of every single slide in your deck. Why is this so powerful? It guarantees consistency. If you change the font, the background color, or the position of a logo on the master slide, that change instantly applies to all 50 slides in your presentation. This is a massive boost to efficiency, eliminating the need to format each slide individually. For your exam, remember this tip. Always use the master slide to insert things like logos, headers, footers, and slide numbers. This ensures they appear in the exact same place every time. Next, we'll look at how we can add dynamic flow to these consistent slides using transitions and animations. We've established consistency with the master slide, but now we need to talk about flow. Transitions and animations are the tools we use to add dynamic movement and keep the audience engaged. A transition is a visual effect that happens between slides, like a simple fade or a wipe. It controls the pacing of your presentation. An animation, on the other hand, is applied to individual objects on a single slide. This lets you control when text, images, or charts appear, enter, or exit. But here's the key IGCSE takeaway. Use these effects subtly. Overusing flashy effects distracts your audience from the actual content, making your presentation look unprofessional. We want smooth, professional flow, not a visual circus. So, once we have the flow sorted, how do we make the content itself richer? To truly enrich communication, we must move beyond simple text and integrate multimedia elements. High-quality images are crucial. They break up text and illustrate complex ideas much faster than words can. Think of them as visual shortcuts. We can also use audio, perhaps a voiceover or background music, to set a mood or support those who learn best by listening. And don't forget video. Embedding a short clip is the perfect way to demonstrate a process or provide a real-world example without leaving your presentation. Finally, charts and graphs are non-negotiable for ICT. They take raw numerical data and present it clearly and professionally, making it easy for your audience to digest. But before we start adding all this content, we must first consider who we're talking to. Now that we know who we're designing for, let's look at the principles that guarantee readability and professionalism. Contrast is your best friend. Always use dark text on a light background or vice versa. This maximizes clarity and reduces eye strain. For font choice, stick to sans serif fonts like Arial or Calibri. They are simply easier to read on a digital screen than serif fonts. We also rely on the 6x6 rule. Aim for no more than 6 lines of text with a maximum of 6 words per line. This forces you to be concise and prevents text-heavy slides. And finally, embrace white space. Leaving empty space around your content prevents the slide from looking cluttered and directs the audience's eye to the important information. These principles ensure your slides are visually effective, but we still need tools to help us deliver the presentation smoothly. We've talked a lot about what the audience sees, but now let's focus on the tools that help you deliver the presentation flawlessly. The best presentations aren't just about the slides. They're about the smooth, confident delivery that these hidden tools enable. First, you have speaker notes. These are your secret script, a personalized reminder that only you can see, ensuring you hit all your key points without reading directly from the slide. Then there are handouts. These are critical for the audience, giving them a physical copy of the slides, maybe 3 or 6 per page, so they can take notes and review the material later. Finally, and perhaps most important for a professional delivery, is presenter view. This special mode gives you complete control, showing you the current slide, the next slide, and your private notes all on one screen, while the audience only sees the main slide. Using these tools is the difference between reading a presentation and truly presenting it. Now, let's shift our focus to how these skills translate directly into success in your IGCSE practical exam. Moving from theory to the practical exam, remember that success here demands precision and attention to detail. The examiner isn't just looking for content. They are checking your technical execution of the software features we've discussed. One of the biggest areas for lost marks is consistency. You must use the master slide effectively to ensure every slide has the same background, the same font styles, and the same footer information. Another key area is object placement. This means aligning your images and text boxes neatly. Don't let things overlap or look messy. Use the alignment tools to make everything look professional. And finally, be prepared to handle printing and charts. You must know how to print specific slides or print handouts exactly as the task requires, and you need to be able to create and format a chart directly within the presentation software. Mastering these practical steps is essential for scoring high marks. These are the final technical details before we wrap up our discussion. We've covered a lot of ground in this chapter, so let's quickly summarize the art of effective presentation. Remember that a presentation is a powerful communication tool, but it only works if you design it with the audience in mind. That's the foundation. Technically, you must use master slides. This is non-negotiable for